I've been Catholic my whole life, but that's kind of meant different things at different times in my life, obviously, as my faith has kind of developed. I think when I was in high school, I kind of reached a point where I really wanted to learn more about the faith, and I really wanted to understand why we believe what we believe. But that didn't really translate in my life to actually living the faith and actually feeling God's love and experiencing these things in my own life. So it was very much an intellectual faith at that point. There came a point where I was in this relationship, and we'd been dating for about 6 months, and I didn't really feel like this relationship was going to go anywhere. The guy I was dating wasn't Catholic. We'd met through band. We were both, we had a lot in common, cared about school, cared about band, but there was this whole part of my life, my faith life, that I just didn't share with him. And I knew that there wasn't really potential for a relationship if that was the way I felt about it. So I kind of slowly started to open up and share just little bits about my faith life, but I was very scared to actually attack the topic head on. So a turning point came one night when I kind of brought up that I wanted to have this Catholic marriage and this Catholic life, and that I wasn't really sure how to live that out. And I was alone that night and just kind of thinking about the relationship, thinking about where I was in life, and just kind of had one of those honest, almost involuntary prayer moments of asking God if it was really possible for me to love. I said, Lord, I need to know that this is possible. It doesn't have to be today or tomorrow or even a few years from now, but I need to know in some way that I'll be able to live out this vocation. So I kind of didn't expect much. I thought, what right do I have to ask the creator of the universe about such a silly thing in my life? But what ended up happening was that the next day I got a phone call from my boyfriend, and he asked if he could come to Mass with me. It was kind of abrupt, and I was kind of surprised at first, but then I got really excited about it, but at the same time really nervous, because I knew that this would be kind of the breaking point where he would either go to Mass and be okay with it and we could talk about faith, or he would go to Mass and hate it, and that would kind of be the end. So he ended up just completely falling in love with the Mass, and he mentioned during the sign of peace just feeling this peace come over him and just knowing that it was from Christ somehow. So that point in my life, there were a lot of things that happened around that point as well that just felt like God communicating with me, and I really started to feel his love and started to understand what love was to a greater degree, that it's about sacrifice, it's about work, it's not just a feeling, or it's not just something that happens. Yeah, I definitely think there's this view as a kid, but even, as we grow older, that saints are just kind of born that way. Like there's something about them that's different, where all through their lives they've just been so holy and so dedicated, and they started so young, almost like, prodigies you hear about, where they started developing the skill when they were 3-4 years old, and they either just have it or don't. But more and more, as looking at the lives of saints, sometimes it can be overwhelming because they seem like they've done all these amazing things and had all these amazing things happen to them, but they had to start somewhere. And I think it's important to realize that no matter where we are now, we could really be anywhere a day from now or a year from now or by the end of our lives. And if we just keep answering those smaller calls from God in our daily lives, then eventually we'll be able to answer that larger call to sainthood and to living a life that can be considered saintly.